Sammy J on ABC Radio Melbourne.
If you've been at Flinders Street Station recently, or indeed if you've been on the internet, how could you have avoided the great joy that this voice has brought you?
Good morning and welcome to Flinders Street Station on this cracking day. As you make your way past the Presley Loft and move your way into the city today, I hope you have a leisurely plan to sit in the back of a cafe, melt into a chair and do nothing but eat biscotti and drink espresso all day.
Lawrence Hewson is the leading station assistant at Flinders Street Station, whose announcements, whose warmth, whose personality has lit up people's lives, and he's right here to light up your breakfast. Good morning, Lawrence.
Good morning and welcome to ABC Central Station. The next train to arrive at Platform 1 is the Sammy J Express. This train will be skipping dull moments and stopping all stations to good times.
Boom. Oh, my gosh, he's on fire. Lawrence, how long have you been doing the job?
3 weeks.
I got to say, I would have thought if you turn up at the station and start having a joke or being a bit of a wag on the microphone, your employment contract would be terminated quite swiftly. But instead, everyone's embracing you. They've set up a social media account, the voice of Flinders Street. You're here in your Metro jumper with Metro's blessing. What's going on?
I think in previous jobs I was kicked off the microphone as quickly as possible. I think that's a testament to Metro's integrity as a company.
Yep.
It's honestly the reaction from a lot of my friends and colleagues has been, who gave you a microphone? Honestly, people I've played music with for years are like, who on earth handed you a microphone in a public space?
This is fantastic. Well, I'm happy to be handing another one to you as well. People say the same about me, Lawrence. So, tell me about your previous careers before we get to this one.
I was a removalist for a few years. I was a postie for a few years, and now I'm moving into an area that I value more than others, is just being around trains all the time.
Now, why? Which part of the world of Flinders Street Station, which I adore, were you most drawn to? The trains, the people?
It's probably the trains, but it's also the people. When I was much younger, I used to just hang out at Flinders Station and people watch. I'm from the country, when I moved down here from Wagga 17 years ago, I would hang out in the city and just watch the vibrancy of Flinders Station, which, as you know, is just an ecosystem of incredible, interesting humans from all walks of life.
Where are you positioned when you're doing the announcements? Because it feels like the voice of God, but I never know where you actually are. It seems like you can see everything, but I can't see you.
Positioned wherever the reception to the microphone is best.
Yeah, okay.
No, sometimes it's at the Southern Cross end of the platform, sometimes a smack bang in the middle of the platform, but I am a presence.
But are you roaming? So physically,
I do walk around a bit from time to time,
okay.
Yeah, but yeah.
When did you first decide, I mean, it's only been in the job for a couple of weeks, but when did you first start to jazz it up, and what made you, or what led to that?
I think I'm incapable of not jazzing it up. I think if you're going to hand me a microphone and the possibilities are absolutely endless, then I'm just going to go to town on it. I was on the barriers for a few weeks before that. I've only been doing the announcing part for 3 weeks, but before, I've been at Metro for a few months now, and I sort of gave them a bit of a nudge. I was like, hey, I've spent half of my life in front of a microphone. Do you want to try this out and see how you like it? And then we did, and it kind of took off a bit.
Awesome. So what was some of the earliest riffs do you remember?
The very first time they handed me the microphone on the platform by myself was in October. The network had a little bit of issue. Someone made a nuisance of themselves and walked along the train tracks, and so I was trying to keep everybody calm. I think at one point we thought there might have been 2 trespassers on the train line, and I said into the microphone, we've got trespassers to the north of us, trespassers to the south, and here I am stuck in the middle with you.
And can you see the reactions? It's effectively crowd work. You're effectively doing a gig, right?
You can see the reactions, and it does feed into the energy a bit. Yeah.
I'm chatting to Lawrence Hewson, station assistant at Flinders Street Station, whose voice, well, you might recognise, and particularly if you've been on the internet recently. Has it taken you by surprise, the online love?
It has a bit, yeah, actually. I understand, when you're when you go to a public space like Flinders Station or Southern Cross, you know the kinds of noises you're going to expect to hear. I just didn't think it would sort of take people as much by surprise as it has, but I did expect people to go, did he just talk about pigeons and seagulls? Like, what is going on? It kind of wakes people up a little bit, because you've got to remember that a train station can be a dangerous place. Like,
Yeah.
it is a safe environment if everyone's behaving themselves, but if you're not sort of on the ball and paying attention to what you're doing, sometimes my announcements can just sort of snap you out of autopilot and
Yes.
make you go, oh, that's right. Like, I'm standing too close to the yellow line. I
Yeah,
don't want to get clocked across the elbow by a rear vision mirror on a train.
Or I'm staring at my phone the whole time. And
Correct.
something's- Yep. This is awesome. Now, look, jealousy is it's an ugly emotion, but I have it when I look at you and think of you getting to be there every single day and just working the crowd as part of Melbourne's fabric. But I note, Lawrence, there are a whole lot of new stations about to come online. Does that mean that any wannabe announcers or attendees could be sticking their hand up as part of the new Metro Underground stations?
I think if you want to get your chops up talking to the public, if you want to work on your public speaking, if you're a musician who feels underappreciated, I think apply to Metro and start working in the Metro tunnel, ask for a microphone, and then go to town on it.
It's only been a couple of weeks. Look how far you've come in the announcing business. Does that mean that the music's going to hit the microphone soon at Flinders Street as well, or do you think Metro will draw the line there?
I think Metro definitely draws the line there. The feedback is meant to be accidental at Flinders Street. The feedback in my music is a little bit more intense.
Tell us about Sorted Ordeal.
It's like we've called it stout rock because it's deep, dark, and rich. It's hard rock, but with a belligerently Australian accent. You might think it sounded a little bit like Guns N' Roses if John Williamson started riffing over the top of it. So, that's been my main band for the last few years.
Does being given a Metro Everyday Hero Award sort of take away from your cred, though, in the rock world?
That was the first thing members of my band said. And like, you've got a glass trophy now. You're walking around the world. You're not an underground rocker anymore. Who are you fooling? You have been anointed by the corporations now. I'm like, all right.
You're in the pockets of Big Train.
Oh, here to sell more rail.
Yeah, totally. Well, we are your happy customers. We'll buy all the rail you're selling because love your work, love the joy you're bringing, Lawrence, and see you at the station in a couple of hours. You got a shift today?
I do. I'm working this afternoon, so if you fancy it, come down Flinders Street Station, have a look, catch a train.
Do you have a specific platform, or do you roam across all of them?
I'm across every single platform, and I prefer it that way because otherwise my material is going to get real old.
Well, if you don't know what he looks like, he's standing before me. He's a tall man. He's got a beautiful, dare I say, almost Wolverine-esque set of chops on him, and say hello to Lawrence. But don't distract him because he's doing a job for your safety and amusement there at Flinders Street Station. Have a great day, my friend.
You have a good day. Talk to you later.
Lawrence Hewson, leading station assistant at Flinders Street Station, Metro Everyday Hero Award for October as well. And also, debut album for Sorted Ordeal, Great Ocean Road, coming out in February. It's 14 minutes to 7.